Today, we're going to talk about succeeding in succession. For our podcast disclaimer, please visit the episode description. Thanks for coming back to What the Heck is Happening in HR, and we're going to talk about succession planning. Yeah, Succession. It was a great show, and it's over now. And if you haven't seen it, you need to have an open mind with it. But it is an interesting show, and ended with the title about succession. So I won't give it away as a spoiler in case you do watch it. But let's talk about succession. In order to have a succession plan in your workforce, you need to be able to have metrics. No surprise here. I'm going to talk about data again. So, what are workforce planning metrics that you need to know? Absenteeism. If you have people who aren't showing up, you need to be able to understand what that means, whether it's scheduled or unscheduled. Workforce planning says, hey, am I going to need more people? Do I need to bring in additional folks to experience the crunch we have at the holidays? Attrition and turnover rates, how many people are leaving the company, because that gives you an idea of how many people you're going to need to recruit. You're still going to need to recruit while you're addressing retention issues. What's that time of proficiency for the new hires? How long does it take them to get ramped up? And how long will it take somebody who knows the organization to be able to make that call of feeling competent in a new role? What's the tenure and seniority of how long an employee's been within a department or been in a role? Do you have someone who's been in a job for 20 years? And if they've been in that job, they have seen so much. How do you capture that? How do you make sure that there's a transfer of skills? Perhaps not everything that they knew, because perhaps let's just say they're a designer and they started on the board, but now they're working on AutoCAD, or they're working on one of the other design machines or design software that's available out there. It's very different. But what they can say is how they moved from the board. Yes, it saved them from getting calluses on their fingers, but what they remembered is how to do a proper parts list. And they could share how they checked that when they were on the board compared to where they are today. So you want to be able to take the wisdom that comes from that experience and somehow get that transferred as you're mentoring or training people who are moving up into the organization. And skills coverage, will you have enough people? What's the customer demand that you're going to have? What's the projection of your proposals? What's the market out there for people? Is it going to be crazy as to how people are going to want to hire people away? I mean, finding good customer service people has always been an issue. And I'm not sure if people just settle because they just need somebody there, but then they get somebody and they aren't even sure if they're going to show up because they're really not engaged with the firm. So, as you plan for succession planning, I want you to think about the skills, but I also want you to think about the values of your organization. Interview for those values. When you have a succession, especially into management positions, I want you to be sure to do background checks. People moving into management positions should expect a background check. They're representing the owner, they're representing the top leadership. It's as if they're standing in front of that employee as a supervisor. And so, with that, they need to make sure that they are representing them properly. So you want to be sure they have that training, they have that encouragement, they feel inspired to come to make it a better workplace every day. So when you think of succession, think of skills, think of interviewing to the values, look at your metrics, and you for sure will have a very good succession plan ahead of you. I hope your succession plans include Monday mornings, because that's when we drop our new episodes here on What the Heck is Happening to HR. Come back next Monday and hear about a new topic.